Being an autistic can be rough, or even any form of mental health and or diagnosis for that matter, for what we are diagnosed with on an everyday basis that we come across. Yet it's up to us to how we want to do and achieve in our lives to get to where we want to be. Hi all, this is Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories, creating mental health and awareness videos obviously as well, along with autism, taking you all on a journey with tips and advice with this and a whole huge range of other variation of videos that I do. So if you're into any of these videos, feel free to subscribe on the bottom right hand corner, and if you do so, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos, as I post usually 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but that may subject to change. As you're aware, basically this one's going to be into 3 parts here of what I'm sharing with you all of a how-to comprehensive guide about accepting your autism. Basically, this is what I want to do right now, just to bring out some more autistic related videos and give the other one that I wanted to do a bit of a pause moment here, say you could call it. So in these, there's going to be 3 different methods. Method 1 of the 3 will be classified as seeing autism differently. Method 2 is helping yourself, and method 3 will be basically finding an autistic community. So let's roll on this feature and carry on. As you know, basically, as I said before, being an autistic can be rough, or even when with any other mental form of mental illness or diagnosis that comes up. But then the choice factor is up to us of what we want to do in our lives and how we want to go about it and how we want to achieve our lives of where we want to be. Everyone has a plan and a purpose in their life, regardless of what it may be, and I believe that we are here for a reason, and that's hopefully we can find that's our purpose that we're looking for of what we want to accomplish. As you know, while you may hear negative things about mental health, on the other hand, you also may be able to hear about some of the negative things about autism and the stereotyping and stigma around autism. That's why I'm here as an advocate, to educate you all and advocate for the ones on the spectrum so that we can actually understand each other. Just bear in mind also that we autistics ain't the same, so if you meet one autistic, don't forever assume that just because you've met one autistic they're the same, because there's one of another cases that we get seen to about we are all the same, because obviously each autistic person will have different traits and what have you, because obviously you need to remember this, because that isn't the full picture. I'm hoping, and saying this too, as my aim for this video series I'll be sharing with you all today will help you to come to terms with your autism in 3 parts and all methods, as well as in saying this basically for some people that are working with people with autism to help support them in any means whatsoever, so you can focus on being the wonderful human being that you are. And as always, before I begin this, as a disclaimer, as always, I'm no medical doctor, so I'm new on Normal Joe Vlogs, so if you see anything out of the ordinary, do seek professional help for yourself or your loved one, or seek second opinion for yourself or your loved one, because I don't forever condone self-harm. So let's begin this. Method 1 of the 3, as I shared, seeing autism differently. While autism is a neurological developmental disorder, as I've clearly mentioned so many times before about what is autism and that, and I'll link it up into the card above me right now, as well as in the description, so that you can get to know more about what autism is and some other videos that will come to feature in these. If you want to know more about any of them, feel free to stop the video at any time and visit those videos and come back to this one later if need be. If not, just carry on with me. So as we know, basically, for many of us autistics, we all have our own quirks and traits for our autism, regardless what it may be. Autism does come with the strengths and weaknesses like many other conditions, and with those strengths we can do great things in our lives, and given the chance to shine out our talents and gifts that we've got given. So tip number 1, shall we say, is learn about autism from autistic people. It's a given too often or not, non-autistic people will write about autism without consulting the real autistic people, and that for sure can be a no-no and frustrating for many of us autistics, because we are the ones living with it and experiencing it on a daily. The people that do write about us autistic people may come up with inaccuracies of basically certain things about us. They'll make up laughable misconceptions about us, or may to the point extremely have very extremely negative viewpoints or comments or thoughts on the differences that they think that won't or don't hurt anyone. However, on the other hand, for us autistic people, we can provide you with a more accurate and well-rounded view, as I shared. The reason why, because we're the ones living with it, experiencing it with it. So many of us will be, writing it up for you through our blogs, on our website, or maybe in a book that we created, or even we may be sharing it with you basically through some social medias, be it through Twitter, Facebook, through YouTube, through Vimeo, you name it. We try and do our hardest to actually raise that awareness and strive for what we want to strive for in our life, to actually come to that mutual understanding between everybody, autistic or not, so that people can understand us more. As we are well aware, the autistic community often describes autism in a neutral or positive light. This may help you gain a more holistic sense of autism, however, as opposed to seeing only just the negatives that you hear about or even hear about on the daily either through social medias or what have you. So again, it pays to just ask questions to us, basically, of the ones that are autistic, or even go onto some of the forums if you want to know more of actually autistic forums or what have you. I'm sure that many of us autistics will be willing enough to be open and brave enough to actually talk about our life experiences with autism and whatnot, and maybe able to give you some feedback or some sort of tips and advice about certain everyday struggles that you may be facing, either through a child that you've got with autism versus maybe a child you're working with that has autism, so to speak. Number 2 is read about the strengths associated with autism. As I said before, autism is a complex neurological condition that comes with several blessings along with its impairments. Don't get me wrong, it's like that with any condition. However, I feel that sometimes in some ways that, in saying this, that I believe regardless of our strengths and weaknesses, that we need to come to terms of basically meeting in the middle somewhere and meeting the accommodation needs, not just for people with autism but other people with special needs. Because at the moment I've realised that as I've been growing up before this diagnosis, that I was falling between the cracks and whatnot, and at this point in time here in New Zealand especially, that we need to raise more awareness on that, about these different impairments, and hopefully we can meet the needs. And I also shared in one of this also about my accommodation needs as I was growing up, of my life story, which I'll link in the card above me as well as below me, as well as also maybe if you want to know my life story about my diagnosis with autism, how it came about, or shall we say Asperger's syndrome I should say, then feel free to actually check out the description and I card above here. Okay, many of us may experience some or all of the following that I'm about to share with you all about the actual strengths we have. So number 1 is the deeply passionate interest. This can lead to tremendous expertise in the long run and possibly a very successful career or fun hobby. Because obviously with many of us, if we find something that we're passionate about, you can sure as hell know that we'll be able to shine out and actually give it our all. Number 2, helpfulness. Autistic people in general have a high sense of social responsibility or the desire to solve problems and help others. This is a given obviously with many of us, because many of us really will get out of our way to help others as much as possible regardless. And I've learnt this in my own self, that when it came to it, that I've been helpful to others, and then there is a way to be helpful or not helpful, if this makes sense. What I'm saying here is some form of advice or what have you may work for some of you and some may not, vice versa. What you give to us may work for us and may not work for others, or you in general. Number 3 for this is precision. It's often noted that autistic people focus on small parts rather than the bigger picture. This can lead to remarkable detail or detrimental to work, where a neurotypical person might be unable to focus so clearly on the individual aspects of something. So what I'm saying here is most of the time with this precision comes with hyperfocus. So many of us autistics will tend to hyperfocus, hearsay, in a way of doing a one set given task, and I have shared this many times before about us autistics, especially that when it comes down to it, that we need to, for our now I've lost the words I'm looking for, executive function, that's what I'm looking for. Some of us autistics may want to go through a list of things to do throughout their day and break it down into small chunks if it gave us a set task, because obviously that's how some of us might work. And in saying this also though, bear in mind that it's not just autism, it might be that hyper focus, it can be maybe some people with ADHD or someone, but bear with me please, if anyone is out there please correct me if I'm wrong. Right, next one on the list I've written down is visual intelligence. Autistic people have been tested high on visual and non-verbal intelligence tests. It's a given. Many of us autistics will have average, above average IQ levels. Some might be more than above average. Some might be so skilled to the point that's why we, feel that we're at a place with some people. Another one is sincerity. Autistic people tend to mean what they say and mean what they do or what have you, and it adds a voice of reason without becoming mired in social complexities. Okay, I believe in this because obviously, like my dad said to me, he's noticed this with me. I don't mean to bring him up if he's going to watch this or not with my mother, but it's best to be honest all the way. I've mentioned about this, shall we speak about our autism or not, and in the workforce or what have you, I think, in one of my video series, which I'll find it in the link in the iCard above me and in the description, so you can gain a better understanding to what I'm saying, because I believe at this point in time we should be able to share our life stories with autism or our struggles or whatever, so that hopefully in saying this, that some of the people that we come across be able to, like I said, to meet our needs as well as vice versa, we meet their needs. So about give and take and working all together as a team. And sincerity, your honesty and genuine spirit can feel refreshing to others, because obviously, many people might not want people just to sugarcoat everything. People might want just to have it straight blank to the point, or to the actual answer, or whatever it may be that they're trying to quiz us on. I find that, as I said before, with one of me, I have been struggling with trying to answer yes and no questions. Some days, if you're giving me the pressure point when I'm working at a particular task especially, and someone comes up to me with a yes or no answer, don't forever force that person to answer the question straight away. If you're going to overwhelm them, believe you me, it will go to the extremity of maybe many of us to the point that we'll have a shout down, meltdown, or some form of phases that we go through. So therefore just, approach us with care, hearsay. Last but not least on these key features of our strength is creativity and a unique perspective. Autistic people can learn in unusual ways. It's a given. Obviously many people have said that with me. You're a weird one. Well, I love to be weird. And I hope you can accept my weird and quirkiness and whatever else that's in me. I'm still a human being, regardless. This provides insights that neurotypicals may never realise and become a great asset in collaboration. So therefore basically in this, we can be creative to the point that, when we're collaborating at work or wherever it may be, we can give you some ideas that you may not have thought of. If we can think outside the box, we can give you maybe possible other solutions that you may be stuck on the one particular, situation. Because I've noticed that some people can be, with some of us autistics, don't get me wrong, I could be wrong, but what I've experienced, and at the moment, I feel that we're in a box full of expectations that we have to be in the world of the neurotypicals. It has to be set in concrete. This is how it's going to be, their way or the highway, I believe. But that's one way thinking can cause havoc, and I believe in saying this, that maybe we should be able to express ourselves without having the need to camouflage or mask ourselves while we're working with other peers. I've talked about camouflaging and masking in one of my videos, which I'll link also in the iCard or in the description below to find out more. Number 3, read about successful autistic people. It's a given that there are plenty of famous people that has been diagnosed or thought to be autistic. Strong special interest focus and a unique perspective can lead to innovation and creativity, as I said before. So therefore, historically though, however, you may have heard of some of the ones such as Albert Einstein, Thomas Jefferson, Emily Dickinson, Mozart, and more people that were thought to be autistic in the history books. Famous autistic people today, obviously, that are still alive and well, you may have heard of is Susan Boyle, Tim Burton, Adam Young from Owl City, Temple Grandin, and so much more. Number 4, consider your special interests. Special interests are a clear upside of autism. We have an incredible memory about these facts, intense focus, and the ability to act like a walking encyclopedia of information whenever you want us to be. It is a given that some of us will have that kind of memory, like good memory for history versus everything else. Some parts I am still just picking inside my brain when it comes down to the past history books, and everybody, well, some people shall say, I've been socialising with thinks that I'm just dwelling on the past when this is happening, but then again, it's not that at all. Okay, I remember maybe some bad times, especially when I've been in some relationships in the past that triggers me and what have you, but that's just the norm. But then again, I believe also with most of the non-autistic people, they would be most likely jealous of what we can recall and discuss the information at hand. I could be wrong, but this is how I see it. So last but not least, on the first method 1 is read about the social model of disability. The social model of that disability isn't caused by defects in the brain or the body, but by society's failure to accommodate and accept a certain variation. For example, most nearsighted people aren't disabled. They're fully accommodated within society, glasses, contacts, and what have you, and have the same opportunities that non-nearsighted people have. The body can't do the same things, but technology makes up for that, so it's not an issue. So therefore, also in saying this, basically, I'm hoping to do some research on this social model of disability, even though many autistics feel that the social model of disability needs to be changed, I believe, from what I've heard. But then again, I'll hope to talk my viewpoint on it, of what it is, how it can be made better, if it does need to be changed, or what have you. So this quickly ends part 1, or method 1 of the comprehensive video guide for you guys of accepting how to accept your autism. Smash like if you like this, comment below. Also comment below also, as I said before, basically if there's any of you that are autistics today, basically if I've missed out any of the strengths, list them below. And also maybe in saying this, what do you do with your weaknesses? If you find some of the weaknesses that you have, basically, do you focus on those weaknesses as well as your strengths? Do you just forget about them and just throw them out the window, put them in the too hard to do basket, or what have you? Let me know in the comments below so we can start a discussion board for this. No further ado, guys, thanks for support, thanks for watching. Do what you love, lovely do. Until next time, I'll do it again soon. Ciao for now. This, don't forget that I have got a merch store that I'm trying to hopefully add a bit more, the Patreon account. For those of you who are new today, Patreon is like a subsidy account for us creators, be it music creators, content creators that are doing mental health or water form. It is that they're using as a form of the platform on YouTube, Twitch, or wherever else they may likely to fly about. Basically a bit about giving back to you guys when you do support, so feel to donate to me, big or small, no pressure basically, but it'd be much appreciated if you did. But hey, this will cover my cost of my rent, the travel when I do some more traveling with Aspie series, or just traveling in general, as well as maybe better recording equipment, so to speak, with the camera setup and whatnot, so that I'm not solely relying on my phone, and many other parts that were thing. And in saying this, with the Patreon account, basically you'll see that I've been trying to do some benefits and ties for you to give back to you as I thank you for, you know, journeying with me, even though some of it will be maybe for free, some of it, you know, maybe need out of my pocket to send you guys certain stuff there, if it may be, if you do donate to a certain amount, merch of your choice, versus basically maybe if I can afford to print out a copy of my book that I did 3 years ago, if you're interested in reading my life story more there. And I'm saying this also just to let you guys know down that I've got some projects in the works that I'm still hoping that if anyone wants to participate for project number 1 of the Journey Through the Mind series, that you may have seen Lydia, who was the first participant from Life with Lydia, basically sharing her life story. So I'm hoping to do short blurts of documentary style stories basically based on this. And in saying this, basically, if you want to be on the bandwagon in any way for that, feel free to comment below. As well as saying this, the second project of it was supposed to be an icebreaker for you guys, just to answer a series of questions. And if you do decide to come back for the second part of that Journey Through the Mind series to be a more depth storyline, please feel free, because I'm hoping later today, if all goes to plan, and I'm hoping to maybe get someone on the side to maybe animate them or what have you. And also, and this also, if you've seen some of my other videos, be it through my, you know, poetry, my baking with Aspie and everything else, please let me know what you would see more of, because at this point of time, it's all about giving back to you guys regardless. But I know I should be focusing solely on mental health and awareness and acceptance and inclusion as an advocate, but I would like to try and bring in some mixture of things so I don't, you know, bore you guys, so that you can just, instead of getting to know me, maybe getting to know others that were interested in coming into play. And then there's also just a heads up, basically, I was hoping in the works later today to do a second part of my book that I did based on my life of an Aspie, looking through the life of Asperger's syndrome or something guys. I'll link the link in the description below based on that as well, so that if any one of you that are maybe autistic and are from the autistic community groups and you are interested in participating, let me know, so that maybe we can get the ball rolling and get the short stories done and up as well as a third part of my book series, because I'm still thinking that there are certain topics I may have not touched base on from the first part of my book of the Journey Through Life with Asperger's Syndrome of mine. And to wrap it up, basically, I have some other funding pages, like basically GoFunding or some other funding page that I've got, that if you're interested in maybe doing it through there instead of through basically Patreon. But as you know, Patreon and this other one, you have the option of PayPal and just insert bank account details and whatnot. And also, I'm trying to keep my blog up to date so I can create it as a website, hopefully as of before next year, because that's my main goal. I'm still looking for someone who is willing to actually maybe help me design it from WordPress to actually put this web address in and stuff and tidy it up, so that we can actually put other bits and pieces in that you may want to see on there, so to speak, if you've seen it, sort of thing. You know, hopefully you're enjoying some of the read-ups of what I write, even though it's similar to what I share with you guys of certain videos I may have put out, sort of thing. So it's easier for you guys when you come onto my WordPress site, that if you're a visual person instead of like a reader person, some of it is similar, but it should hopefully have some bits and pieces. And also, in saying this, I'm at this point of time been away for a few times too, because of the subtitling I'm doing. I hopefully enjoyed this video, and do what you love what you do. Until next time, I'll see you again soon. Ciao for now.